Alrighty. Just want to check to be sure that everything is in optimal condition. Audio levels are sound. If you can hear me, if it's too overpowering or anything like that, just let me know, because I honestly can't check the feedback on my end without any kind of feedback from someone from the chat, so it's appreciated that you guys and gals let me know. Show's about to start pretty soon. We do have a guest who happens to be a new player, and hopefully we do get some more guests along the way. Hopefully we can organize things a little bit better, but we're just winging it at this point. So in a moment I will hop into the podcast chat, and then once that's set and squared away, we'll just commence. So just give me a moment. Probably let you guys and gals get situated, get something to drink or eat in the meantime. Yeah, it was good, Tavisa. Just yeah, I know for a fact this is going to be a fun episode for sure, because it's interesting to see from the perspective of like new players how they're experiencing this game in particular, how they were introduced to it, whether they're coming from Gundam Versus or just starting off as their first game. What, you actually at the beach? You'll actually have a nice spot away from everybody else. Don't catch any kind of crazy disease on the beach. So how's everything sounding so far? The music audio is pretty well, or does it need to be a little bit louder? I know for a fact when people are in the voice chat, that's gonna be the ultimate test. Sound quality is great so far? Alright. Yeah, once we start getting people in the chat, we're definitely going to check that again. Alright, let's see. Alright, in the voice chat now. Hopefully Discord doesn't act all wacky on me, which seems to be working pretty fine so far. Just gotta wait on Denso and Warby Chief to come on in. The other person, FrostyBolty, might be running into a little bit of an issue since he has a stomach ache, so he might not come around until like way later. So, anything anybody wants to talk about for the meantime? Just to kill some time? Anybody also have like any friends that have been introduced to the XVS games or the Gundam Versus games in general? How they've been dealing with that? I know for a fact, JT, we've been kind of going at it with a lot of the other stuff. In this game, my god, the rivalries are just New user friendly. Yeah, there's not a lot of mechanics to clutter everything up. Not a lot of things like boost dive or the striker systems. Everything is right in front of you. But the only thing I can probably say is that it doesn't have a tutorial that teaches you how to play the game on a surface level. So you're gonna have to practice things with information outside of your scope or what the game provides, or just do it the old-fashioned way, like in the arcades, and just figure it out on the move. So it is easy to play, but very hard to master. It's a hard game in general. Hey, I respect it. I like that kind of tenacity.
Hello?
Like it. Yep.
Oh, hey.
Hold up, let me bump you up a little bit. Alright. Say something now?
Alright, hello?
Yep, gotcha now.
Alright,
So, how you been, man?
good. I just been building the Master Great Strike.
Oh. How's that coming along?
I only got the waist and the legs.
Did it feel a little bit sturdy, or is it not at that point quite yet?
It's not real fully at that point, but it feels alright.
Mm-hmm.
The stand is stupid big. I don't have a place for the stand.
You know, it's always going to be the next level to try and figure out where you can put it if you don't have a lot of space. Especially for like massacre kits, especially if they take up a whole lot of space on the shelf. Yeah, you're going to probably invest on something bigger than that.
Yeah, the stand is longer than the kit.
I feel that depends on the suit as well. I picked the Goof Custom and free its easy interface to master due to the selection of weapons. The only thing is that with lower cost suits, you're going to be subjected to a lot of other challenges. Especially if you're starting out. That's definitely a major thing. I know that Dento could probably tell you that a lot more since he started off with like Alex. So he might be able to give a bit more of a better perspective than I would. I mostly started with the 3K. Started with the 2K. I started with like Goldframe Amatsu, and then worked my way over to EXS. But if anybody is interested in hopping in the Discord chat, just either let me know on Twitter or use the !! Discord command in Twitch chat. If you even got like a small thing to say or like have a small story, I'm all ears. But for the most part, we're definitely just gonna be we're just gonna be freestyling it for the most part, and that's usually the best kind of structure when it comes to like unfamiliar topics or topics that we may already know but haven't really touched on in great detail. So it might be a good idea to just see whatever sticks and just run with it after a while. Jumping to Strike Freedom, Full Saber, and MBON. Oh. Strike Freedom definitely seems like an interesting choice because its mobility is pretty great, and its self-defense is pretty good too. Full Saber and MBON you could definitely go crazy with. more full saber because it's a lot more prepared for head-on confrontation. FBON, you just gotta know how to really use the melee fundamentals to its fullest potential. It's one of the hard suits to play in this game, simply because you just can't play it like any other suit. You really have to pick your spots. You really have to see what openings you can capitalize on. And you gotta get used to getting hit and knocked down a lot and trying to avoid those situations as much as possible. Also, while maintaining that offense that would make someone crack under pressure. You could probably go with like the more traditional route of just going with like fighting burst, but some FBON players do end up using extend instead, which,
Oh yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's a nice little utility, but for a suit like FBON, you want to do as much damage as possible.
I think the gimmick behind the stun is sort of just burst super.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see most of them do. But I mean, people just learned that trick.
Yep. Sinanju was your first consistent 3K suit, but its melee isn't. Yeah, Sinanju isn't really exactly a melee suit per se, but its mobility is good enough in order to kind of harass a target and just circle around, and also close the distance pretty well too. And the fact that you get more rocks in burst, I feel like you would be better off using shooting burst for a suit like Sinanju. But if you're unsure about that, there's always the Japanese footage that you can take a look at, see what the consistent factors are, what burst is being used, how they move around, what's their go-to weapon to neutral, stuff like that. Hmm. Hey.
Oh, hello.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, sorry about that, guys.
That's no problem. I'm just probably waiting on Denso in the meantime. He should be coming in soon, but he'll probably let me know. So, how you been doing, Frosty?
I've been okay. I've been playing a bit of fighting games, and I have been waiting for Friday
Mm-hmm.
since I pre-ordered, and I'm quite hyped to play another weekend of shouting down the microphone with friends.
It's such a great time. We got 7 days left from the time of this recording, so it's definitely gonna be a wonderful thing to really just kill some time with it. Just play a whole crap ton of games from that point.
For us, we were me and my crew of friends.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking for a new game to play because well, we all play fighting games, and we wanted a fighting game that has like good mobility, and those don't come out anymore.
Nah.
They really don't, and because of that, we saw Gundam, and I think we have tried to get into Gundam in the past, but we had lots of fighting games we were really interested in, so we only played it like casually at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But then And I mean casually, as in like we tried it and we were like, we don't really get it.
Yeah.
And we had a mix of skill levels, which I think we should leave that to discussion. I guess if you want to talk
Yeah,
about it,
that makes
it's a
sense.
long big topic.
Also, what's the best range suit I've seen so far? That is, I wouldn't say subjective, but I would definitely say Reborns is one of those suits that can definitely play range at a really optimal distance. But as for like pure range, I would say Karadom's pretty solid. I know EXS has some strengths at a distance. Zabanya may take a little bit of working since you got to play somewhat of a selfish playstyle, but if you really want to get like the most out of like a ranged suit, and it's gonna cost you your hands when I say this, Heavy Arms 2. If you
tank?
see Heavy Arms 2 custom, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
You mean tank?
And Tank 2. Don't fear is definitely another really good range suit.
That's execution heavy.
Yep. I feel like a lot of the stronger suits tend to be execution heavy. Even Reborns, you kind of have to be a little bit more dexterous. Also, what's good, Clapper?
Oh man, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Hey.
So, I guess we can get this show on the road.
So
Hopefully,
what's the topic today? We're talking about the experience for beginners.
Yeah, for mostly like new players, especially coming from like either from GVS or just starting off with max boost.
Yeah, right. I'm doing that, and I'm also watching good old Egg going ham with his Agu guy. He just got vengeance. He just got vengeance on an Ifrit that slaughtered him earlier.
Ah.
Go get him, champ. Oh man.
Okay, and always remember, if you have any friends or anybody that's interested in participating in the conversation, just either contact me on Twitter or type in !Discord to get the invite to my Discord channel. And I guess we can probably do it as a one mic if there's more than like 2 people within the chat. So that way things could be a little bit more organized and no one gets lost in the sauce of the conversation.
Better than la salsa.
Better be good to go too.
So who's gonna start this off?
Okay.
I think that even talking about beginners or first experience is something anybody can do. To be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
My experience honestly wasn't very good. I don't remember who it was specific, but the first time I went into a lobby, I don't know. I feel like maybe the person was I want to say the person was trolling, maybe, but this person was very, very aggressive and very negative about what I was doing. Like I was completely new to the game. I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I was making a lot of really bad rookie mistakes, like randomly bursting for no reason, things like that, and wasn't very good at cutting. And the person was basically screaming at me to cut, and it wasn't too fun. I think one thing that I do feel has gotten better around here in the community is that people are a lot more friendly to beginner players right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because people need to realize this game isn't exactly easy, and if you're the kind of guy that gets salty from fighting games or games like League of Legends or Gundam Battle Operation, because if you're the kind of person that gets mad because your partner isn't very good, then it's gonna happen a lot here.
Yep.
Just gonna say that right now. You're the kind of person that gets salty, speaking from experience. Be prepared to try to curb that shit. But as far as building up as a beginner, I think one thing one of my experiences was I I think I made the mistake of going straight to a favorite, and that led me to War in the Pocket suits, and they're all 1Ks. I don't think it's a good idea to start off as a 1K. So if anybody here who's a beginner is not thinking about that right now, I don't think you should play a 1K or 1.5 to start at all. Same with a 3K, to be honest with you, but that's a different topic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think what people need to realize is when you're a beginner, you're gonna make mistakes. Let's be real. Everyone does. And as a 1.5 and as a 3K, and well, at least now, especially now, making mistakes to 1.5K is a lot more punishing than as a 1K in the previous game. But let's say you go into shuffle, which is my preferred cause for beginners. My preferred room for beginners. You play a 2K, you typically get 2 lives because everybody else is going to be running a 2K also or 2.5. Not that often. The people playing 3Ks isn't that common in shuffle rooms. I find usually you'll see maybe 1 or 2, and when they do, they're usually playing like really aggressive 3Ks like Bale or passive ones like or backs like Zabanya and EXS. But I think people need to realize that that you should play one of those costs because you're gonna make mistakes, and it's a lot more forgivable to make mistakes in those kind of suits. And not only that, but 2Ks and 2.5s are gonna fit in more compositions than 1.5s and 3Ks are gonna fit in. So that'll get the juices flowing, and it'll give you a lot more experience with the different formations.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also it's important too for a good beginner experience to get with the right people. I don't think you should really just go straight to a fucking high level group because I personally, this is my opinion, I don't feel people are gonna learn well when all you're doing is getting your shit kicked in. Like if I go into a room where people know what they're doing, and be somebody, hey, yeah, this guy's new, and then next thing you know, they're gonna go and they're gonna pick Bale or they're gonna pick fucking Epion or something. They're gonna pick a Maul suit, and they're gonna eat me alive. And before you even know what the hell's going on, match is already over. You're never really gonna learn anything. I mean, when you lose, you're gonna learn things, but I feel like if you get stomped completely, and you're kind of just there wondering like what the hell happened, then are you really learning anything?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I just want to say about the whole 1.1K, 1.5Ks thing. As someone who's just started in MBON, okay, well, I technically started in full boost, but I played for 1 hour, so I don't really count that, right? Started in MBON. A lot of us in the squad that we're playing are actually playing 1.5Ks.
Mm.
So our experiences are like really different in that way, I guess.
I mean, it's subjective at the end of the day. I don't claim to be some sort of god at this game or anything like that. I'm a scrub, but
Same here.
I just think that it's a little better because the thing is, the 1.5s, 1K, they have a lot less boost, generally have less health, generally are weaker tools, and I think, and they're generally more demanding, and usually some tend to have like specific gimmicks. Like let's say for example, Zaku Custom, Zaku 2 Custom, Bernie Zaku. That one has grenades. There's only really one other suit that has a tool even approaching similar to his. The grenades. I think the only one that comes to my mind that's even approaching in similarity is Stargazer.
Stargazer's grenade, right? The one that stays still.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So it's like some of those suits, they have very, very specific gimmicks, and they're just really super duper demanding. And I think it's just better to just play a suit where you're going to have more boost, you're going to have more versatility and adaptability, as opposed to just getting straight up bullied. I don't think playing a suit, I don't really feel like playing those suits is going to really help you at the beginning. I think it's better to just pick a quote unquote stronger or more well-rounded suit first and then move to those.
Yeah, just mostly go with like some of those general purpose suits like the RX-78 Gundam, or even like Blue Frame would be a good idea to kind of get yourself on to kind of get yourself situated with what well-rounded suits are capable of, what kind of gimmicks they have that can not only benefit in teaching you the game, but also give you ideas of how certain gimmicks work. Overall, it's just giving you some ideas of just bits and pieces of how the dynamics in this game work in general. Also,
But
Akagenesis.
but at the same time, if you're having a good experience playing low cost,
Hmm.
hey, by all means,
Yeah.
go for it.
I think
Maybe maybe it's just maybe I just had bad luck. It could be
I
that.
think what I'll do is I'll describe my experience with our crew, and I'll say our crew, but it's more like the local FGC. And I guess I'll introduce myself as well. I guess.
Hmm.
So I'm Frosty, FrostyBolty. I'm a fighting game player from London or UK, Europe. So I'm quite far away, and we are me and like the local guys here. We all play a bunch of role and anime games, mostly Arcana Heart.
Hmm.
Game with not a great reputation, but it has a lot
Man
of
of-
movement. And it's great.
Fuck the hater, man of culture.
So the thing is we were looking to get into Gundam because we were looking for a fighting game that has mobility. And I know people say Gundam's not a fighting game, but to be honest, you know what? It's better than fighting games, and fighting games aren't looking great right now.
Hmm.
If we, so we decided we were going to go and pick our favorite units first because we had just finished. Well, all of us have watched Gundam in some form. Like I've watched Seed, and we just finished watching Gundam Wing. So
Okay.
we would decide to pick units that we thought we would like the look of, right? Because as a new
Uh-huh.
player from a fighting game, you probably go into the game looking at the vast number of mechs in the game and be like, I have no idea what any of these do. I can't look at the portraits and tell what they do, right? Because like in fighting games, you can tell if a character is a grappler by looking at the character's size. Normally, the bigger they are, the more grapply they are. You know what I mean? Obviously,
Yeah.
there are exceptions to this, but that's the general rule. But with Gundam, we got into it. We were like, we have no idea what the hell's what. So we first decided what we picked. We looked good. We thought looked good. Me, I was a bit different. I played EX versus full boost for 1 hour, and in that 1 hour, I tried 3 units, and I hated the game. Back then, I was the only people I could play with were basically some of the best players in Europe only. So as Flapjack said, or what your actual name is, I'm not sure. When we if you play with people who are too high level, you don't really learn anything. And I think that's actually secondary. The actually most primary thing is that you don't have fun because you get your shit kicked in.
Yep.
And I believe that without having fun, it's hard for you to self motivate to improve. Because you want to have fun, right? Like when you play a game, you want to have fun with it straight away. And if you go in and all you're doing is playing pro players, which fighting games have a very big issue with, you're just not going to have fun. So me and my squad, we got all into it all at the same time. Me and like 6 other people. We had a great time. We're having a great time right now. Most of us intend to only really play amongst ourselves because we just want to have fun with games at the moment.
Hmm.
And we are picking. We ended up what we ended up doing is because there were so many mechs, we all just started random selecting, and we found some good mechs that way. Because I feel like because you can't judge a mech by the look, and you can't judge the mech by their anime. Absolutely not. Like you can't judge Barbatos by his anime because he's actually a ranged unit with shooting burst. We ended up doing one or two things. One, we either looked for match videos, or one of 3 things. Looked for match videos to look for what we thought looked cool. So I ended up playing God, and I changed away from God a few times to other units. But check what looks cool. That's one. The second one we did was we asked one member in like our local community has actually played the game for a long time. He's not super good, but he's good enough to know what he's talking about, right? So we asked him maybe, what do you think? I want something Rushdown. He's like Bale. I was like, oh, And then we played random selectors, just randomly pick a unit and just get along with it. So one of my friends, Bowser, he picked a whole bunch of like girls, Yeah, you do that, right? You play anime games, you probably do it. You go and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick a Throne Dre. I'm gonna pick
Mm-hmm.
Lacus. You know what I mean? Something like that, and it's like, oh,
Oh,
I don't know
boy.
about these. And he ended up having Gold Sumo as his favorite character from Random Select. The proper mob character looking mech. He really likes playing Gold Sumo, so he got that. One of my friends started with Excelia and actually likes Excelia, so lucky for him. And one of them plays Barbatos and likes it. But we all started like random selecting to find what subs and stuff as well, and we ended up with a lot of 1.5Ks. And the reason for this, and I hear everyone say you shouldn't do that, right? But the reason is because we only play the toppest tier 1.5Ks where they have big impact on match, even if you go in and die and make a mistake, for what it feels like. So a good example of this from my experience was Lego, right? Like I play Lego, I have no idea what I'm doing. The gun dog, I have no idea what I'm doing, right? I'm just shooting loads of lasers, and I press shooting burst, and I shoot more lasers, and I catch their landings by running up to them constantly. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that was easier to play than say playing Endless Waltz, Wing Zero, where if I traded health I would die, or if I played something like Epion or God, where if my opponent had ranged capabilities, I would have to outplay them first. So that's my experience with picking like 1.5Ks. We're enjoying the game a lot at the moment, and we are very much waiting for Friday to come around.
Yep.
I think everybody is.